Enamorus, a Pokemon that got introduced in the Legends of Arceus games, access to the Contrary ability, which is able to reverse the stat changes, so you are able to get boosts from Superpower instead of drops, as well as Intimidate, and of course with Stellar Tera type Tera Blast, which reduces the attack and special attack normally every time you use it, you can actually get boosts with Enamorus. And we're going to be trying out this team that ended up getting top 30 on the ladder, featuring Enamorus Incarnate form. This team features Enamorus Incarnate form, got top 30 on the stadium ladder with the Stellar Tera type Enamorus Incarnate form, which is able to get the boost with Superpower, the Contrary Tera Blast with the Stellar Tera type, as well as Intimidates. It's a really strong option. I think it's more powerful right now because a lot of the things that revolve around a speed booster Icy Wind Flutter main paired with the Dark Urshifu, and Enamorus is able to punish it extremely well due to the fact that it has the contrary ability, so Icy Wind actually gives it a speed boost. You're able to punish Urshifu and you resist it pretty well as outspeeding it, so it is already a really strong option. And paired with this Enamorus, you have some really good supports, especially that Whimsicott. With this Covert Cloak, you're immune to Fake Out. You can also set up Tailwind for Enamorus, but also Fake Tears and Charm. Fake Tears that lowers special defense by 2 stages. You can go for the cell Fake Tears into your Enamorus to get a special defense boost and then boost up your physical defense with Superpower. And Charm for immediate damage output because you can lower the attack stage by 2 normally. But you can also help support the Enamorus by giving it a +2 immediately. But it's also a good defensive tool against your opponent because that -2 attack is still very valuable. So you have multiple ways of boosting up this Enamorus. Followed by support, you also have pretty standard Incineroar and Ogerpon. This Wellspring Ogerpon, just Fire, Water, Grass Core, Follow Me for redirection. Very solid. And then this Incineroar, a little bit different. This one has Protect, which gives you more options to stall out. But also what's really nice about this Incineroar is that it is a very offensive Incineroar with very heavy hitting Flare Blitz because the team does not appreciate a Moongus. So having that option to do a lot of damage to a Moongus with Flare Blitz after Superpower, pick up knockouts usually, is really helpful. Following the rest of the support, we have the Vessel of Ruin on the Tinglu with the Assault Vest, and this one featuring Body Press to help out against potentially Kingambits that do run Iron Head. You can actually hit Dark Urshifu for a lot of damage, which is really nice. Snarl support for the special attackers, which Enamorus is a little bit vulnerable to. Ruination for Chip. Just a really solid option, and to help out against like offensive Flutter main, you have Heavy Slam as well. Finally, the Raging Bolt, which is able to help out with that booster energy, boosting its special attack, and dishing out a lot of damage, helping out in the Tailwind matchup, especially against Water Urshifu, which Enamorus does like the Dark Urshifu, but not so much the Water Urshifu. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Entei Urshifu Xianpao Rillaboom Landorus Incarnate form and the Kingambit. I'm a little bit worried about Landorus Incarnate. Sludge Bomb does have a lot of pressure. Urshifu, probably water on this team. I don't think it's going to be dark, especially with Kingambit. So how do I want to approach this matchup? I do have quite a few tools. Wellspring Ogerpon's pretty solid, although I think this one's actually slow if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's slow, so I can't outspeed Landorus. So this is going to be a little bit of an issue. Tinglu could be nice. I would like to Snarl the Landorus, but there is the Kingambit, and then there are a lot of Pokemon that kind of threaten me, so this is not going to be an easy one at all. I think it's pretty hard for me to bring Whimsicott, even though I feel like I really want to speed control. It's just like really tough, I think, in order to utilize it. Kingambit's just like throwing a wrench into a lot of problems. I think it's probably Ogerpon plus the Enamorus is probably a decent lead because Ogerpon can threaten the Landorus with a Terra move, while Enamorus can pressure Kingambit, and then if Kingambit doesn't lead, I have an Incineroar, which can be really strong. I think I need to bring Tinglu because I need a backup answer to Landorus. I think Landorus is just such a problematic Pokemon. Tinglu also can kind of help out against Kingambit as well as the Entei if they're not Terra'd. So not the worst option. I think Whimsicott just again has a lot of problems where they do have a lot of priority, so I don't think it's like the biggest help for here. And let's see what else they are gonna have. Rillaboom, Kingambit. All right, so pretty decent start for my Enamorus. Enamorus is still really strong in this position. All right, we'll go for I kind of want to just protect the Enamorus turn 1, and I do want to just get some damage off into the King Gambit. I think I'm just going to straight up go for the IB Cudgel. If there's a fake out, it probably targets the Enamorus, and I don't know what the King Gambit does, whether Sword Stance or not. Let's see. We're going to see fake out come out into Enamorus, which is to be anticipated. You do fear the superpower into the King Gambit. I am able to get an IB Cudgel off into the King Gambit. Let's see if you have a... Ooh, nice crit too. Very much appreciated. Sword Stance. Okay, so this is a setup King Gambit, which I'm not too surprised about. Okay, perfect. The upcoming turns is going to be a little bit tricky, but this is a pretty safe superpower, I think, into... I guess the question is, who do I want to target? Do I want to target the King Gambit, or do I want to target the Rillaboom? I feel like I probably want to target down the Rillaboom. Although, I don't know if King Gambit protects. That's the thing, because I don't know if they can rotate to anything where, like, oh, King Gambit can come out next to something that they have. I think I definitely want an always superpower, so I'm going to superpower the Rillaboom. It actually might be the best play to spike his shield here, because Enamorus, if it's Swords Dance King Gambit, they don't run Iron Head, which means they're not targeting down the Enamorus, which I think is pretty big. I'm going to spike his shield and scout for what they're going to click. So I do go for the spike his shield here. We're going to see a protect from the King Gambit. Yep. Okay. Really ideal. And we're able to get a guaranteed superpower off into Rillaboom, which might be U-turning here, or maybe wood hammering to KO to Ogerpon, or put it in Grassy Glide range so they could get a follow-up move. But I am able to get my guaranteed defense boost as well as an attack boost. And they do go for the wood hammer. They do target down to Ogerpon. So sweet. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Couldn't have asked for anything better. They even take some spiky shield damage. And it's looking pretty strong. It is looking pretty strong, because now I can superpower the King Gambit. And I will go for the superpower in the King Gambit. And we will go for... I still have to worry about the Landers a little bit, but I do think that this is probably a safe time to just follow me with the... Ogerpon, and we're going to force a Terra immediately, so they can't Terra poison the Landers, which is also pretty important. We're going to see the note of the Terra on the Terra Dragon King Gambit. So I could have went for play rough, but I wasn't sure which King Gambits that they were, whether they were dark, whether they were poison. Poison was kind of my guess, but yeah, we are going to go for follow me. Let's get a superpower off into the King Gambit. So now we have a +2 defense on the Enamorus, as we're going to see U-turn going to come out from the Rillaboom into the Ogerpon. So I think my demons coming out going to be that Landers, isn't it? Unfortunately, I don't have a defensive Terra. If I had a defensive Terra, I could pressure the... Or I don't have to worry about Sludge Bomb nearly as much. But yeah, Landers is coming out. Not too surprising. Okay. Kowtow Cleave into the Ogerpon. We'll pick up the knockout. Okay. All right. It's not too bad. We do have Ting-Lu that can come out here, and I guess because they... Yeah, I think I do want to go Ting-Lu, actually. I'm going to go Ting-Lu. The reason I'm going to go Ting-Lu is because I do have a decent amount of pressure I can put onto the Landers. I actually don't even know if Play Rough can KO. I know... Probably it can, right? I feel like I should be able to. If I Stellar Tera, I definitely am able to. Yeah, body press for the King Gambit, at least pressure wise, or I could go for Ruination. I wonder if they're going to protect Landers. That's my question. I don't know if they will. I think the best play, I am fast, right? Yeah, max speed. I think my best play, I didn't know if +2 would be enough to take care of the Landers, but I think +2 play rough would 100% would. So I'm going to go for the +2 play rough, because if the Enamorus Incarnate is like modest, for instance, doesn't pick up the knockout, but we're going to see a swap here actually from the Enamorus into Rillaboom. So interesting decision on their part. I am going to be able to probably pick up the knockout on the Rillaboom. Granted, their Enamorus is going to come in for free, but one of the situations I was worried about is Enamorus protecting the King Gambit being sacked to get chip damage and then bringing Rillaboom in for fake out. So I never wanted to protect Enamorus in that situation. I wanted to take the offensive initiative. So if I had to take a speed tie, I think it was worth it. We're gonna say King Gambit protects, so I guess this actually works out really well in my favor. We will be able to get a play rough into the Rillaboom, pick up the knockout on the Rillaboom. So goodbye Rillaboom. Unfortunately, we did use our hair to take care of it, but not too bad, I'd suppose. A body press gonna be targeting down the King Gambit. Now it is a interesting end game. Let's see if Urshifu comes out. No Urshifu. It's actually Landers again. Okay. I do need an Enamorus around. I am going to go for a play rough into the... I think I do want to... I do have the Tera Blast boost, I suppose. This is 100 base power. Is this more powerful? Because I have the Stellar Tera intact, right? I think it might be more powerful than a play rough. Or it's about the same range, but I also get the... Also, I just never miss. I think I... You know what? Let's go for it. Let's go for it into the Landers. I'm going to body press into the King Gambit as well. Let's try it. They go for a Sucker Punch, so they're going for Sucker Punch plus Sludge Bomb. Who is the faster mod? I am able to get the Tera Blast off, which is absolutely huge. Okay, into the Landers. How much damage does this do into the Landers? Oh, that is not enough damage, unfortunately. Okay, we do get an attack and defense boost, but... Or a special attack boost, but the Landers is able to fire off a Sludge Bomb. Can we survive a Sword of Ruin? No, unfortunately not. All right. I could have protected there, but I was worried if... I was worried about a sub, potentially. Although, maybe I could have just went for Protect, Heavy Slam that turn. A Body Press is going to come out in a King Gambit. Does pick up the knockout, so I think it really depends on the last Pokemon. The last Pokemon is really going to be key. If it's Urshifu, I probably lose the game. Unless it's Dark Urshifu, maybe I have a shot. Dark Urshifu, I think I do have a chance, but if it's water, I definitely lose. We will bring out our Incineroar. If it's Xianpao, I think we can win. Incineroar. It is Xianpao. All right. Hold on. Definitely an okay situation. Do we live Earth Power with Incineroar just because the Sword of Ruins? I mean, the Vessel of Ruin is available? I think we do. I'm going to fake out the Qianpao. They already Terra'd. We both Terra'd, so this is not that much of a change. I think I fake out and I Heavy Slam the Landorus. That was going to be forfeited. What? I think it was winnable. I think crits are needed, but it's definitely winnable, I think. I had fake out the Qianpao. I was like, okay, I'm going to gamble the Sword of Ruin. I think both are double protecting on the fake out anyway. Then next turn is like, okay, they have to double in this slot. I was hoping I could protect the Incineroar, Heavy Slam the Landorus, because I'd be probably able to pick up the knockout onto Landorus with the Sword of Ruin available. And I don't think a double up on the Tinglu knocks me out. I have to worry about Icicle Crash Flinch if they have it, or crits there otherwise. So that's what my game plan was. And then Incineroar should be able to beat down the Qianpao, especially with Tinglu surviving attacks and be able to get one more hit off. So yeah, I was not expecting that one, but okay, not too bad. I think I played a good start. The mid game, pretty dicey. I think that one turn was pretty bad where I went for the Tera Blast. I think I should have protected instead, but it worked out. Flutter main, Incineroar, Landorus Incarnate, Amoonguss, the Raging Bolt, and Urshifu. All right. Looks like pretty standard balance. I don't know if it's Water Urshifu or Dark Urshifu on this team. I can't really tell. There's no Wellspring Ogerpons. Amoonguss instead you would see on this team. So it could be either Urshifu. I'd probably lean more towards Water. I think Water makes more sense if you're going to have Amoonguss, but let's just see what we can perform. Landorus is a little bit tricky. Amoonguss is really tough to break through with this team. I do have Incineroar, but yeah, it's not exactly an easy matchup. And then they have the Urshifu, and if it's Water Urshifu, it's actually really rough to break through. I think what I want to do, I want to try a different route because Tinglu gets redirected by the Amoonguss, so it's actually a lot more troublesome to deal with than I would expect. I'm going to bring Enamorus plus Incineroar lead, Wellspring Ogerpon, and then I think I'm going to have the Whimsicott as well. I want to have 2 switch-ins to Urshifu, which I think is very valuable, but also like I'm going to have to improvise. I feel like Tinglu would be really good against Landorus plus Flutter main, but if I am expecting it to be Water Urshifu, it's a lot harder for me to break through the team with Tinglu, especially with Amoonguss. So I'm gonna change up the plan a little bit. We're gonna see the Urshifu Water, Urshifu Water plus the Flutter main, which is not great here, unfortunately. Booster energy, so this is booster speed. Okay, I wonder if it's Sash. Who would they target? I'd really like the idea of just superpowering Urshifu. I think it's Sash. I'm going to go out into Wellspring Ogerpon for the Incineroar. I'm going to superpower. I think they might protect and Moonblast, but then I'm in a good spot with Wellspring Ogerpon, or at least should be, especially with the Urshifu intimidated. Oh, what? It's Calm Mind on this team? That's not what I expected. I mean, Surging Strike should go out in Incineroar, right? Oh, it's Scarf too. Okay, so completely different sets than I was anticipating originally. Which isn't too bad. I'm not too worried about Calm Mind Flutter. I am still worried about Water Urshifu, but Mungus, okay, that's acceptable. We go for the superpower into Mungus. We're able to get the +1 in the defense and attack. Okay. I have two options. I could either just attack straight up, but they could go into protect, which would not be ideal. I could also, I think one of my better ideas is to protect and go out into Whimsicott. I could go Incineroar too, but there's also like a pretty decent chance I think that Flutter Mane protects and they just go for a Spore or Pollen Puff to chip away the Wellspring Ogerpon. Yeah, okay. This is really good then. I mean, this was my best play then. I will protect my Enamorus, and I'm going to go for Fake Tears into my Enamorus the next turn. Spore did go out into, yep, the Enamorus slot. Okay. I hope the +1's enough. I could go for the Tera to confirm it. Do I want to save my Tera for the Wellspring Ogerpon? I want to make sure I get rid of it, but Amoonguss could, I guess. This is actually tricky because Amoonguss can go for a Rage Powder. Especially since they should know I have the option to go for Tailwind. I'm just going to go for a Play Rough, and I'm going to go for Fake Tears into my own Enamorus. Let's see. Okay, they're going to retreat the Flutter Mane, so that means that you lost a Calm Mind boost and a Speed Booster. And they gave me a Urshifu? I'll take it. Okay, that's not awful. I Fake Tears my Enamorus to get the +2 special defense, and the Play Rough will connect with the Urshifu. That's a huge connect. Beautiful. All right, I'll take it. It's still not out of the woods yet, but that's definitely a pretty decent one. Oh, they Pollen Puff the Enamorus. What? Oh, did they think I was Terra Grass? That's such a risky option. Okay, Flutter Mane coming in. I'm not too worried about Calm Mind Flutter, ironically. I'm actually going to go for a Stellar Tera Blast, I think, into the Amoonguss, and I'm going to go for a Fake Tears into, or no, I want to Charm. I'm going to Charm my Enamorus so I can boost up the power against Amoonguss, because I'm not too worried about the Flutter Mate. I wonder if they thought I had like Terra Flying or something. They really went with a super aggressive read. I guess they thought I was either going to switch or go for something else. I really did not expect him not to go for Spore there, but that really worked out in my favor. Holy cow. Was not expecting that one, I'll say that much. Incineroar, Wellspring Ogerpon, Landorus Incarnate form, Raging Bolt, Urshifu, and Flutter Mane. If I'm not mistaken, this is a pretty standard team that we have here. How do I want to perform against this one? Because we have some tricky mods to handle. They do have Taunt Flutter Mane. Luckily, it's not offensive Flutter Mane, so I'm not nearly as scared about it. And Enamorus is actually pretty strong here, but the problem is their Landorus is actually a really big issue. If I can get rid of their Landorus, I'm in a good spot, but getting rid of Landorus is not easy, I'd say. Tinglu is actually pretty strong as a lead, potentially. Trying to figure out. I like Tinglu because Tinglu beats a lot of the factors of, like, it can chip away the Landorus, which is important for my Enamorus. It's pretty good into Flutter Mane. It's good into Raging Bolt, which is also good into my Enamorus. It's also, like, against Ogerpon and Incineroar, I do have switches. I think my play lead-wise would be, unless I want to bring Whimsicott. Do I want to bring Whimsicott? I don't think it's necessary in this game. I think Tinglu plus Incineroar is not too bad. Have Enamorus in the back and then the Wellspring Ogerpon. I kind of want to set up a board position for Enamorus to be able to clean up. And I think in order to do that, the specific mode here is hopefully going to be able to just threat. First, I have to get rid of the Landers or chip away. That's the important part. If I can do one of those, that's basically ideal. We're actually going to see the Landers plus Flutter main lead immediately, which is perfect because I did lead the Tinglu plus the Incineroar. So this is really ideal. Nice, as I can just focus down the Landers if I want to. Although Incineroar can come out for the Flutter main if they want to. I'm not too worried about speed boost or Flutter main damage, and I do have Heavy Slam. I think the first turn would probably just me going for the... Do I want a Ruination immediately, or do I want a Heavy Slam? Because Flutter main is not doing too much damage, but I don't know if like these Pokemon can switch to Ogerpon, I suppose. I don't know if they want to keep the speed booster, if it's absolutely worth it. I think I just want to Ruination the Flutter main turn one and fake out the... I want to fake out the... I'm trying to figure out who I want to target. I feel like Landers is so valuable. I don't know who's protecting and who's switching. We are going to see the Flutter main retreat. Okay, this should be Ogerpon then. So I did get the call right. Oh, Urshifu comes out. What? Okay, I was not expecting that one. Landers protects. That's really ideal because I did go for the Ruination. Then it can body press the Urshifu to pressure. So this is actually really good. Okay. Ruination hit. Nice. Okay. I'm not too worried about the Urshifu. Again, the Landers is the biggest threat to me. So I'm actually going to go for Ruination into the Landers. Do I want a Tera Poison? Tera Poison is not bad here. Hold on, what was their... They brought Flutter main. I actually think I like the Tera here on my Tinglu. I'm going to Tera the Tinglu. I'm going to go for Ruination into the Landers, and I'm going to go for the Enamorus switch. I actually really like this a lot because I cover for close combat on either of my slots. I cover for Wicked Blow into the Incineroar if they want to read that. An Earth Power into the Incineroar. The only way that they get a huge punish... I mean, Earth Power is still going to hurt the Tinglu. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like with the Vessel Ruin and Assault Vest, I'm taking it decently well. It's not like the worst move I'm taking. I also really need, again, chipping away that... Chipping away is going to be really important onto the Landers, so... Going to be crucial. They do go for Substitute. Okay, so I don't take damage, which is nice. Perfect. Close combat, I quad resist that, so that is awesome. Beautiful. Could have taken the knockout, but I don't think it's really necessary. We will go for the Ruination into the Landers. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I could have Snarled. Snarl would have been nice there because even if it was behind a sub, the fact that it'd be like -1 would have been great, but not too bad. I don't think they're ever targeting down the Enamorus. I could see a swap to Flutter main, maybe a Protect on top of that too. I think I'm going to Protect and I'm going to Snarl. Your Enamorus is never really threatened by Urshifu, so I'm not really worried if you attack the Enamorus to Protect. Unless you have Poison Jab or Iron Head for some reason, but that's a different note. Looks like they're taking the offensive initiative onto the Tinglu, which is A-okay here. We're going to see... Oh, no, they detect, which is fine. Okay, so are they going for Sludge Bomb or Earth Power? They go for Sludge Bomb. Perfect. All right. So I am able to hang on perfectly comfortably, and the Snarl, if we connect, will be able to chip away the Landers, but also more importantly, lower that special attack. Well, I can't say everything's perfect. Man, that was actually a really nice Snarl to hit. All right, how do I want to play for the rest? Probably Incineroar coming in would probably be the ideal play. And then, do I predict the Urshifu to switch out is going to be a good question. I think I want Heavy Slam damage into Landers, and I am going to go Incineroar. Man, not a great start, unfortunately. Missing the Snarl is not good there. I think I would have been pretty safe even if they Sucker Punched attempted. So I will bring out the Incineroar. We get the Intimidate off in Urshifu. I don't know if it's swapping on to Flutter main or if they're just going to go for a Wicked Blow. They are going to switch out to the Urshifu, so this should be Flutter main. Oh, Wellspring Ogerpon. Okay, that makes sense. We go for Sludge Bomb. Yep, makes sense. And we do go for the Heavy Slam into the Landers. Get some chip, which is nice. Okay. Trying to figure out how I build towards Wellspring Ogerpon now is kind of threatening. I have Fake Out. I don't know if they're going to double protect or if they're going to go on the offense. I like Ogerpon as a switch a lot here. I like the idea of Ruination the Ogerpon and switching out into my own Ogerpon. I don't know how aggressive they're gonna play. If they play super aggressive, we'll find out. I don't think they're gonna Snarl. They're gonna Earth Power, I would say, if they do. And I don't know which slot, but we'll find out. We are gonna see a Tera actually involved here, so it might be their Ogerpon. If it's their Ogerpon, unfortunately, I'm not a fast Ogerpon that outspeeds Landers. If it was, then it would be a really ideal situation, but unfortunately, we're not. We're gonna see the Tera on the Ogerpon. All right. Get the Embody aspect. They went for the Ivy Cudgel. Oh, they targeted the Incineroar slot, so that's actually really good. Okay. Earth Power into the Tinglu. Yeah, it does so much damage. Ruination. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not liking this spot at all. It should be Sludge Bomb. I would say this is Sludge Bomb Ivy Cudgel. I would say you Ivy Cudgel the Tinglu and you go for Sludge Bomb and Ogerpon because you do want to threaten the Ogerpon. This could be Follow Me too. I'm gonna Snarl and I'm gonna go back to Incin, I think. Trying to pressure for the Earth Power. The unfortunate part is I think I'm losing the Flutter Mane because I took so much health. I wasn't too worried about Flutter Mane, but unfortunately I did take so much health and I was tearing the Tinglu. Incineroar will come out. We'll get intimidated off into Ogerpon, so hopefully we live an Ivy Cudgel once. And hey, Horn Leech instead. All right. Did they Earth Power too? I guess this is acceptable for me. No, they did Sludge Bomb. Okay, so they doubled up. So I'm able to get the Citrus Berry with the Incineroar. Nice. And I'm able to get a Snarl off into the Landers, hopefully this time around. Okay, nice. We get a big Snarl. I really, really want to KO the Landers if they give me the opportunity to. I'm actually going to go for Fake Out Heavy Slam into the Landers. If we had to take the trade of Incineroar for Landers, not the best, but I think it's probably more ideal than the current situation. We're actually going to see the Ogerpon retreat. So, Flutter Mane? No, Urshifu. Okay. Nice. They actually gave me the Landers. So, that Landers was the biggest threat, and because I'm able to get rid of it, I have so many more options. Nice. So they tried to play aggressive there. Maybe they expected me to switch back into Ogerpon like I did the previous time, but no, I was like, okay, they're playing aggressive. I'm going to try to take the initiative, and it did work out. Granted, this game is nowhere near over. They do bring out their Ogerpon, and this is probably a close combat, plus an Ivy Cudgel coming out. Don't exactly have the best swaps, but we will attempt it. We're going to body press the Urshifu. And we're going to go back into Enamorus because I think this should be close combat. And they could Ivy Cudgel again, but I think they want to pressure a swap into Ogerpon, I would say. I'm bringing out my Enamorus. Let's see. Ivy Cudgel going to come out. I think this is targeting the Tinglu slot. Yeah, it is perfect. Okay. Oh, that didn't even KO. Wow. That was a lot weaker than I expected. And because they close combated my Enamorus, they're going to get the defense drops. So body press 100% guaranteeing the knockout. So I do get rid of this. All right. I actually took way less than I thought, but I guess like this Tinglu is more defensive than the common ones. We are able to eliminate the Urshifu, which is nice because I don't have to worry about Wicked Blow doing a lot to my Ogerpon. I think Ogerpon can just win the game now. If I play my cards right, we're going to see the Flutter Mane come in. All right. And I still got to be a little bit cautious. I think I sack Tinglu always to Heavy Slam and just protect the Enamorus and then try to get a free switch into probably my Ogerpon. I think Ogerpon would be a safe play. Moonblast going to target down the Enamorus. Perfect. This should just be Ivy Cudgel into the Tinglu anyway. Yep. Okay. Let's see. I still think that this is still a tricky game. But then again, the Flutter Mane on this team usually carries Icy Wind and Taunt, so I'm not like too worried because it's single target damage that they could do. I'm gonna go Ogerpon here, and I'm just gonna Horn Leech the Ogerpon, and I think I play rough. Did I double up the Flutter Mane though? Do I expect the Ogerpon to attack? Moonblast plus Ivy Cudgel's not picking up. You know what? No, I actually... I want to reset this board state really badly by going Incineroar. I think Incineroar is actually not a bad play. You know what? I'm going to Spike a Shield. I'm going to go in Incineroar. The reason I'm going to make this play is because Fake Out plus Intimidate is just making this board a lot safer, because I'm a little bit worried about how much damage like Moonblast and a Hornleech would do. Also, like Enamorus is not 100% safe because of the Ivy Cudgel, but I think after this Intimidate we might be able to tank one Ivy Cudgel. Flutter Mane protects. Did the Ogerpon play aggressively here, or did they double? I played aggressively, so I don't know if this is Ivy Cudgel or this is Hornleech. A Hornleech. Okay, perfect. I thought it was gonna do they were gonna do the other way around, but this actually works out because they take more chip damage. Okay. Now I can go for a Hornleech into the Flutter Mane and get some of my health back, and I can fake out to the Ogerpon. Yeah. I could double up the Flutter Mane, but they're never risking that. Yeah. Okay, Moonblast into Ogerpon. That does not do that much damage. So that is great. We are able to get the Hornleech off into the Flutter Mane, get the recovery back, and now I think we have a super safe game. Yeah, I have a super safe game. I can go for a... I can just Hornleech the Flutter Mane and Flare Blitz, because even if Ogerpon Hornleech is just not doing too much damage. I guess I can knock off too. Although Flare Blitz might not KO Ogerpon, but if they follow me, then it doesn't matter. No, I should just Flare Blitz because they can't even knock out the Ogerpon without doubling it up. We're gonna see Moonblast coming out. Oh, they did crit me here. Okay. Special attack drop. Ivy Cudgel. Okay, but they Ivy Cudgeled my Incin. Perfectly fine. So Incineroar goes down. I should get enough Hornleech damage to be able to tank one from this Ogerpon, and then I think it's just going to come down to... I'm going to click Play Rough here. And then... let's see. Can the Ogerpon get 2 crits in a row? And they have to crit with... well, they have to crit one Hornleech and one Ivy Cudgel. The Ivy Cudgel one's more likely. The Hornleech is not. Bring out the Ogerpon. We'll click Follow Me. And we'll click Superpower. Let's see. They should click Hornleech, I would say. Oh, yeah, I'm faster. There's slow Ogerpon on this team. All right. So I am able to just pick up the knockout Ogerpon. Okay. Or I guess maybe the Enamorus was just faster than Ogerpon, but that is super ideal. All right. We are able to pick up the knockout there. And awesome. Okay. A little bit tricky. A little bit tricky. I didn't even get to use Enamorus too much, but the fact it was a really good pivoted Dark Urshifu was actually really important, because there's few things that really switch into Dark Urshifu close combat and Wicked Blow safely, and the fact that I had a good mid ground for both was actually fantastic. I also could have put on a lot more pressure, I think, if I had maybe a bit more better positioning with either Ogerpon next to the Enamorus, which was a little bit hard to get to, unfortunately, until the late game, or maybe Incineroar fresh. But the Flutter Mane was still super threatening. But yeah, that Landorus really tricky. Had to play around it, and yeah, pick up the knockout, which was great. Okidogi, Iron Boulder, Gastrodon, the Heartflame Ogerpon, or Urshifu male entity. Huh. Iron Boulder, does it even have decent special attack? I don't even know. I don't think so. Let's see. How do we want to perform against this? It's a pretty tough team. The entity is actually really difficult. Gastrodon is a little bit weird. Ogerpon's really strong against this. They do have the Okidogi, which is actually a bit of a concern because I can't intimidate it because of Guard Dog. Tinglu's not too bad, but I have no idea what Urshifu set that is. It should be dark though, and if it's dark, it makes it easier for me. I like the idea of... I can't even fake tears. Like, my strongest mod to deal with Okidogi is going to be Raging Bolt, but I don't know how... It's, like, pretty decent into the team. It's not, like, incredible, but it's still pretty solid. I would say I wanted to go with Okidogi plus Wellspring Ogerpon isn't a bad lead. I want to set for Enamorus in the back because I think this is going to be a tricky team. I actually don't remember what the speed stat of Iron Boulder is off the top of my head, but I think it's pretty fast. I think it's like in the 120s if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be a pretty big concern for Enamorus because It does have a rock move that does go through protect, so not exactly an easy mod for my team to handle, unironically. So the Iron Boulder is going to be big threat in Okidogi, and we're going to see a lead of the Okidogi right off the bat with the Indeedee. All right. Psychic Surge going to activate. Booster Energy will also activate. Is this Psychic Seed on the Okidogi? That's also a good question to note. Photosynthesis, it is going to be special attack. No Psychic Seed, it looks like, from the Okidogi. Okay, that's good to say the least. I will just go for an immediate Thunderbolt into the Okidogi, and I will just Spiky Shield this first turn, because if I do lose Gastrodon, I do kind of struggle a little bit against Gastrodon. So I don't think I want to leave the Okidogi. I don't want it to leave a vulnerable. We're going to say Okidogi Retreat. Oh, is this Gastrodon? Oh, they were definitely reading the Ivy Cudgel. Okay. I could have Dragon Pulse to cover, but I did really want that extra power. We will Spike a Shield. This should probably be a Expanding Force. Yep. That is going to hurt quite a bit into my Raging Bolt, but it's still pretty acceptable. Ooh, that didn't do nearly as much as I thought it would. Okay. Thunderbolt into the Gastrodon. I think I'm okay with just going for the double up into Indeedee. Because if I'm able to get rid of Indeedee, that's nice. I don't know if Gastrodon's going to protect, or maybe it goes for an immediate Terra. If it goes for an immediate Terra, I think it's pretty acceptable. Getting rid of the Indeedee would be really ideal, because it is pressuring a lot with Expanding Force, but also Gastrodon can't really threaten. I mean, he does get access to Sludge Bomb, I suppose, so it can hit Wellspring Ogerpon. I don't think we'll see it in this case. If it is Sludge Bomb, it actually is a pretty big threat to my Enamorus as well. But Gastrodon is just going to protect. Very safe protect. They're just going to go for damage probably with another Expanding Force. And that definitely makes a lot of sense here. So Expanding Force is going to come out into my Ogerpon. And my Raging Bolt just barely able to clutch the survival. Horn Leech, a lot of recovery from the Indeedee. So that's perfect as we heal back quite a bit of HP and finish off the Indeedee with a Thunderbolt. So not a terrible start, yet of course not an ideal start. Let's see how the rest of the game interacts, because this is going to be the Okidogi coming in once again, and Okidogi still a big threat. Oh, Urshifu comes out. Dark Urshifu or Water Urshifu? It is Dark Urshifu. All right. I do have a swap always into Wicked Blow or Close Combat. I will switch out into I don't know if Gastrodon's going to switch out either or not. I think my best place to set up Enamorus is the best time to set up is now, which is great, because I don't have much offensive pressure, or they don't have much offensive pressure against me. I'm going to go for a Dragon Pulse into Gastrodon. I'm just going to swap out into Enamorus, I think. I could go Incineroar, but I think I'd rather go out into my Enamorus, as long as it's not catching an Ice Beam or Sludge Bomb. But I think a Wicked Blow would make a lot of sense. Into either slot would also make a lot of sense. This could also be Yawn too, which is a bit concerning, but we are going to see a Terra involved here from, I'd probably say the Gastrodon. It could be Urshifu too. They could be going for like a really strong Wicked Blow, but it is the Gastrodon going to Terra here into the Terra Poison. So as long as it's not Sludge Bomb, I'm okay here. But if it's Sludge Bomb, this is going to be problematic if it does. But they do protect the Urshifu. Okay. I wonder if this is Earth Power. I do get a pretty strong Dragon Pulse into the Gastrodon. Yeah, that's really good damage actually. They do Earth Power. Okay. That is the best case scenario, I would say. Yeah, that's the best case scenario. Because goodbye Raging Bolt, but I am able to get a free swap now. I'm going to go into Urshifu because I can intimidate the... I can intimidate the Urshifu, so Close Combat's not going to KO the Incineroar, I would say. And then Gastrodon's also vulnerable to a Flare Blitz. Or a knockoff. I think knockoff would probably KO. So I'm going to knock off the Gastrodon. I'm going to go for a superpower into the Urshifu. Because this is an offensive Incineroar. I would say that knockout KO. So I'd rather... Yeah, I'm going to superpower. Let's see. Get the defense increase. We're going to see the Urshifu retreat, which is not too surprising. Okidogi. I don't know if Gastrodon's protecting or not. That's a good question, but we'll find out, I suppose. Superpower will come out into Okidogi. Most importantly, getting the defense increase, which is really, really key here. And a knockoff. Goodbye, Gastrodon. Perfect. Okay. Rocky Helmet on the Gastrodon, so I did take a little bit of damage. Acceptable. Trying to figure out where my Terra's going. Am I Terraing Incineroar or am I Terraing... I don't think Stellar Tera is useful. That's a problem. I don't think Stellar Tera is useful. We're gonna see Urshifu come out. Tera Water. I'll take a close combat easily. I think my best Tera is the Tera Incineroar. I have a very strong Flare Blitz. I can go out on Okidogi, and I think a Protect from the Enamorus makes a lot of sense. As long as close combat doesn't knock out the Incineroar from Urshifu, I should be good, unless they double it too. I guess they could double it, but I have no clue if they would. Maybe they would expect Wellspring Ogerpon to switch in and protect from my Enamorus. I think the question is, what item is the Urshifu? Because if the Urshifu is any item that isn't a Focus Sash, it would be very vulnerable to an attack from the Enamorus picking up the knockout before it can move, unless it's Choice Scarf. So that's why I'm thinking, oh, close combat makes a lot of sense if it's Sash, or then I should be able to survive and get a Flare Blitz off. So let's see if that's going to be the case. We will protect Enamorus. Urshifu shouldn't matter unless it's Poison Jab or Iron Head for some reason. Life Orb, Urshifu. Okay. Brain Punch into Enamorus to cover for Terra Steel. Makes sense. Flare Blitz into Okidogi. Really good damage. I think I win. Why are you... Why Iron... Okay. Iron Head to Urshifu. Lay Rough to Okidogi. Don't have Protect on Okidogi, but it's not leftovers, so I don't think it has Protect. Oh, what the heck, man? What the heck? Okay. Well, let's play with the Okidogi. As long as I don't miss, I win the game. Nice. Okay, we get rid of Okidogi. And we have a secure. Also, the fact it's Life Orb Urshifu for Iron Head, so they could actually play risky. They go for close combat, so yeah, I guarantee win the game. Did they utilize their Tera? They did on the Gastrodon, so yeah, I am able to win because I have Follow Me plus Superpower. If not, if they went for the Iron Head and Enamorus, I was like, okay, the Incineroar Flare Blitz from a very offensive Incineroar should two-shot, especially since they have to take another Life Orb hit, and I still have a Wellspring Ogerpon in the back that could just Follow Me, and I could Flare Blitz, and I would probably be in a very safe position. So thankfully it did work out, even though I did not expect the Iron Head. Thankfully the superpower boost was really crucial on that previous turn. I'll definitely take it on the Okidogi, so I was able to survive the Iron Head. We went the Life Orb. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just shocked that I actually won Iron Head to Life Orb. Here comes the superpower, and if Urshifu, I don't have to worry about anything missing. Urshifu goes down. Beautiful. Still shocked, but was able to get a really strong, I guess, start. I mean, it wasn't as strong as the start as I thought. Like, Entity ended up doing a lot more damage than I expected. They brought out their Urshifu, and I was like, okay, perfect time to get Enamorus. Enamorus was able to get in very safely and start punishing it, as well as getting the extra damage on the Gastron was really helpful too. So I felt like I was in a good spot, and yeah, I was able to apply a lot of offensive pressure to set up a superpower with Enamorus, which I needed in the back, as I expected. All right, Glaceon with Ninetales Alolan form, Porygon 2 Iron Hands, the Gouging Fire, and Wellspring Ogerpon. This is a scary team. They have, well, Breaking Swipe doesn't affect my Enamorus, but I'm more worried about Howl stuff. They do have Double Ice though, which is not exactly an easy one here. Tinglu is pretty good into the ice stuff, but it is weak to ice stuff. Incineroar is pretty strong here. Wellspring Ogerpon's a maybe because they have Freeze Dry. Yeah, Freeze Dry is actually a lot of damage. Okay. How do I want to perform against this? Let's see. I think it might be a Ting. Do I want to lead Tinglu? It's good against the... I do want to lead Incineroar, I think. Incineroar is just a good Intimidate mon against this team. So I think Incineroar... The problem is with Incineroar, it's like the mon I want to do damage with, so it's tricky. I think I want to go with Enamorus plus Incineroar because it's, if they don't lead the Ninetales immediately with Glaceon, I'm in a good position. If they lead it, then I probably have to switch to Tinglu and just straight up Flare Blitz, or maybe I have to Fake Out. So this is where it gets tricky because with the snow, I don't really have anything to change with weather. It's kind of ironic. The ice types are going to give me trouble, but even though I do have pretty good coverage against them with Heavy Slam, Superpower, and Flare Blitz, because this Glaceon, Glaceon's a Pokemon that can actually hit pretty hard, and then I have to worry about also Snow Cloak on top of that, which is not pleasant. But we're gonna see the Ninetales Glaceon lead here, so buckle up. This is not gonna be an easy one per se. We will see the Snow start with the Ninetales. I have no idea if it's Covert Cloak. I'm not gonna risk that. I'm gonna go for a parting. I don't have parting either, so that's options out. I could go Tinglu, which is probably an ideal, or I could just protect, which is also pretty ideal. I think I will just go for a Flare Blitz into Glaceon immediately and protect. I kind of need offensive momentum. I'm not too worried about Ninetales damage output. I'm more worried about Glaceon damage output, especially since like Glaceons in the past run like choice specs. Also, it has way more special attack. We're gonna see the Ninetales go for the Aurora Veil, which is a-okay. Blizzard gonna come out. Now, luckily, I don't have to worry about freezes because I am going for Flare Blitz. So I would unfall. I just need to A, have to focus on hitting, and then B, which I do, thankfully, how much damage does it do? As you can see, Glaceon able to tank that attack extremely well. So not an easy spot. Also, Ninetales does have access. Also, yeah, Aurora Veil plus Snow, allowing it to be able to kind of eat up right here. Okay, I'm going to Flare Blitz the Glaceon again. What mon can I afford to lose? Tinglu or... Probably Tinglu, because it's really only against these two Pokemon I was mainly going for. So I'm going to bring out Tinglu now. Problem is they have a very defensive core right now that's going to be tricky to break through. They have Encore potential on the Ninetales, so I don't want to risk going for like Stellar Superpower, which I don't even think would knock out the Glaceon realistically. This also weakens any power of like attacks that they could go for. Disable on the Ninetales is the only thing I'm really worried about, so let's see if that's going to be the case. They do have Encore and they did go for it. Nice. Okay, great. And they go for a Blizzard, which... As you can see, even through the Vessel of Ruin with the Assault Vest, the Glaceon is still doing some pretty strong damage to a Tinglu. That is very respectable damage to a Tinglu. Please, Incineroar. Nice, we do hit. Can we knock out, please? Awesome. That's a huge knockout into the Glaceon. So Glaceon goes down. And let's see who they're going to bring out afterward. Unfortunately, I don't have Parting Shot. If I had Parting Shot, this would probably be an easier game to deal with. But let's see. Iron Hands would make a lot of sense here. I'm a little bit worried about gouging fire too, but it looks like Iron Hands is going to hit the field, which is a-okay by me. All right, let's go for a swap, I think, into Ogerpon, and I do want to... I think I want to get a Heavy Slam off because I do need damage into the Ninetales. I also need damage in the hands, but... We'll see. I think there's probably Drain Punch in the Tinglu. I don't want to really burn my Tera on the Tinglu to take one Drain Punch when... I don't think if I eliminate the Ninetales is the biggest deal. Let's have Ogerpon in. They are going to come out of Tinglu. Okay. Blizzard. Okay, not too surprising. That Blizzard actually did a little bit more to Tinglu than I thought. It's still acceptable though. Snow's gonna end soon. Aurora Veil probably gonna be lasting on the field. Trying to think about my best option. Do I sack Tinglu or do I go in Incineroar? I feel like Incineroar is always a play. I'm gonna Horn Leech the Ninetales because I don't think Ivy Cudgel. I guess I could go for the crit. But I'd rather make sure that Ogerpon can stick around on the field so I can make sure I redirect attacks for later. Let's bring out Incineroar. Get that Intimidate off. Let's see if they read it and go for the Drain Punch. They might Blizzard Drain Punch, double up the Tinglu slot, which would be a very respectable play. We're gonna see Blizzard come out. Yeah, it's just doing so much damage to Ogerpon. Horn Leech gonna come out into the Ninetales. So we get a bit of chip, which is important. Drain Punch is going to be fired out. They did double up into the Incineroar, so good play on their part. All right. Yeah, this is not going to be easy. I am going to Enamorus. I guess, do I want to double protect? I think I do want to double protect, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, like, I don't see a reason why I wouldn't double protect to stall out the Snow. Because Iron Hands might go for a Drain Punch into the Ogerpon. The Snow and potential Aurora Veil goes down, but I'm pretty sure it's probably just going to be... Okay, we see a Tera too, which... I'm not expecting a Tera, but alright. from the Iron Hands gonna be the Tera Fire. They made themselves weaker to my Ogerpon, which is an interesting decision. Okay, as I will go for Protective Enamorus as well as the Ogerpon. Interesting. I'll take it. They go for an Encore into Ogerpon, I guess, for the Hornleash. Okay, that makes sense. And then they're going for a Wall Charge into Enamorus. All right. I wonder if they're gonna go for Follow Me or not. Or wherever it wears off, actually. Okay, that's huge. This remaining part, I think I have to call whether they're gonna Encore or not. I feel like Encore is so obvious, but if they go for a Blizzard, they hit both ends. Although Iron Hands is at -1, I don't know if they knock out the Ogerpon. I feel like they would though, but I think I do have to risk it. I think I'm gonna go for Superpower. I Superpower to Ninetales with Tera. Do I want a Tera? This is probably like the only mon I'm gonna go for Tera. No, I could save Tera for Ogerpon. I'm gonna Follow Me and I'm gonna Superpower. I really don't know if Superpower would knock out the Ninetales either. I would lean towards no, but let's see. Follow Me. They went for the Encore. Okay, I got the turn right, which is huge actually. All right, beautiful. So I am able to get a Superpower off into Ninetales. That's huge because I get my defense boost. Oh wow, Tera Superpower actually did knock out. I was expecting it to do a lot less. But all right, perfect. Wall Charge. We should be able to tank this just fine. Yep. Probably going to go for a Blizzard plus an attack from the Iron Hand. So I'm just going to go out into my Tinglu. I'm going to click Superpower into the Ninetales once again. So we'll be at +2 defense. Hopefully we'll be able to tank the Blizzard into a Wall Charge, but they also have to Blizzard outside of the snow. So bringing out the Tinglu, we have the Vessel of Ruin as well. That allows us to take the hit even better. Blizzard going to come out. They do connect with both. That does so much damage. Is it Never Melt Ice? I feel like the item might be Never Melt Ice. They're -1 attack with their Iron Hands, and I am at +2 defense with Enamorus. So I feel like I should be able to live 1 attack from your Iron Hands. Wall Charge. They crit me? Wow, that actually KO'd. Huh. I was +2, right? Is the Iron Hands not intimidating? Was I wrong on that? Gouging Fire? Ah, I think if Enamorus survived, I actually won the game too. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, it was -1 and -2. I guess Enamorus is not being bulky enough, which I'm surprised. We had 2 superpower boosts because I KO'd the Ninetales. Or I went for 2 superpowers against the Ninetales, but yeah, I can't win the game, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, that was tricky. Ironically, just Snow was way too offensive against this team. I mean, I guess I try. Maybe I don't know anything that the Gouging Fire can't have that breaks through the Ogerpon. I guess like if I need to win the game, I guess I should know my damage cost against the Ninetales. I guess it wasn't invested in Ninetales and all defense. It was more offensive because I guess that makes sense. The Blizzard was doing so much damage. I guess Swipe just chaos naturally. Okay, maybe we would have been able to live a spread 1. I think I needed to actually go for an earlier superpower into the, or go for Stellar Tera there. I guess like conserving the Tera wasn't really worth it on the Ogerpon. I think I should have taken my gamble. Had to KO the Ninetales that turn if I did get the call right, since I did get the call right. And then afterward I go for it's Gouging Fire next to the Iron Hand. So theoretically it's not over, but the thing is I do actually have ways to pressure the Gouging Fire with +1 play rough with Stellar Tera. Although it is tricky if it's not able to KO, but Ogerpon 2, it's just a tricky end game regardless. I think Glacier was just really tough, and I ended up taking too much damage response. I probably needed to Tera the Tinglu earlier, so I didn't take as much damage. and actually had resources available. All right, let's go over to games. In game 1, other than finding out Enamorus is a faster speed tier than Landers after the battle, it was an amazing first couple of turns I had in the game. Although one turn which was a mistake was not protecting the Enamorus and getting chip damage into the Landers, so Stellar Tera Blast could actually pick up the knockout. But luckily, the last Pokemon was Xianpao, so other than critical hits or flinches from Icicle Crash, I was very likely to win in the end. In game 2, was able to put on a lot of pressure with the Enamorus thanks to that boost after the Whimsicott was able to help support it, and then knock out the Urshifu on the switch as my opponent made a gamble that did not work out, especially with their Amoonguss. In game 3, the start was great as I was able to put on a lot of pressure and get many calls right on the switches. Missing Star on the Landers made things more difficult, however, but the tanky Ting Lu was able to survive the Terra Ivy Cudgel under half health, while finishing off the Urshifu allowed me to play around the Ogerpon and Flutter main that remained. In game 4, this game had a rocky start as the first turn did not work out, but after getting rid of the Entity while setting up one superpower on Enamorus was enough to win the game with the damage Incineroar provided, although I was not expecting the Iron Head Life Orb Dark Urshifu that thankfully did not crit. In game 5, Snow was difficult for my team, and I think I had to commit earlier with Tinglu and Terra to avoid taking so much damage instead of relying on Incineroar. I just ended up taking too much damage from multiple blizzards plus the Flare Blitz recoil and didn't have enough health to deal with the Iron Hands or the Gouging Fire in the back. The verdict, I think Enamorus is actually really incredible. Even without the support from Whimsicott, I do think having a Pokemon that's really good against Dark Urshifu a really common choice right now, being able to outspeed it, pressure the Icy Wind Flutter mains that are running around, I think it's a really impressive mon. This team is definitely something unique. If you do want to try it out, hopefully the rental code on your screen is still available, but otherwise the details of the team and the creator are down below in the description. But of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.